Well, hello Cancer, Happy New Year. Boy, 2019 and relationships are set for a fresh makeover with the new moon solar eclipse on January 6 occurring in your zone of love. Now I'm looking at my notes here because I've got quite a list of transits. I want to give you an overview for, just pretty much some of the important hits throughout 2019. And you can look at the rest of the details that I've written, a much more comprehensive analysis at astrology.com.au. I'll give you more details on that later. But if things haven't been all too rosy in this department of your life, expect affairs of the heart to take a turn for the better now. That's great. You'll also notice that your significant other has changed somewhat, but you mustn't be too harsh on them. With the Sun and Saturn in close conjunction in this same area, responsibilities are going to be quite big on your loved ones during this cycle. They have a lot more to contend with. To make matters worse and more intense, Pluto in this same area indicates major transformations for both you and your partner and your relationships in general. Furthermore, you mustn't underestimate the significance of working through your relationships and the karmic issues that are there. That's all that past stuff that's been swept under the rug. This is a case due to the additional solar eclipse taking place at the very end of the year on December 26th to be exact. This again occurs in your marital sector, so we can't underestimate the importance of your relationships in 2019. It appears that whatever life challenges you with, you're going to really have to resolve all this stuff in the coming 12 months. This is shown by the continuing transit of Saturn in this area. So many lessons are going to be learned by you. And if you resist, it's going to be harder. If you just sort of flow with it and just look at it as an adventure, then it's going to be an incredible year for you. Also, Venus is transiting your 5th house of creativity throughout the early part of the year. So you're able to dig into your creative arsenal to make the most of your relationships and any newfound love affairs. You must be patient and loving if you want to enhance your love life during 2019. Venus is on your side and she makes a powerful trine aspect to Mars on January 19. This makes you impulsive, but at the same time new relationships will be deeply satisfying socially and sexually. You'll be charged up and hot to trot. Saturn makes difficult aspects to the Sun. That's your whole sun sign, so depending on the date you're born will depend upon how intense it is. Its opposition to your natal solar position takes place on around February 28, July 3 and again on November 28. The strength of these Saturn aspects is determined especially by the precise dates of your birth date, so just take that one fairly loosely. It does, for a general indicator, to give greater and greater responsibilities. It's going to happen predominantly in the realm of not only your emotional relationships but generally with the world at large. You may grow weary of the typical expectations that people have of you. The Sun signifies authority. You'll find yourself entangled in ego clashes with people who are trying to assert themselves, dominate you, or somehow play mind games with you. Could be power plays going on. This will play out, of course, in your professional arena as well. The abrupt and progressive Uranus we have to talk about because it's continued to wobble in and out of your career and social zones throughout 2018 and commences its transit through your professional area early in 2019. This will result in some uncertainty as to how you'll handle your career life this year. New innovations are likely to take place in your work. You'll have a natural inclination to understand technology from the perspective of how it can help you, streamline your work and life generally. You become more decisive on January 7 as it moves into direct motion, and it leads the way into your social zone on March 6. Now, at this time, we see that there's incredible, unusual acquaintances that are going to be made. By the same token, your existing relationships could be subjected to some erratic changes. So don't be surprised to find your friends acting a little weird and changing their minds at the last minute. You need to clarify and qualify their words much more clearly. This is a time where greater discernment is required of you. But just when you thought you were clear of any sort of people in this area of your life, Uranus once again goes retrograde on August 12, perhaps pulling you back from these rather unusual social elements. Jupiter's transiting your 6th house for most of the year, and this is a year in which you're cautioned not to overextend yourself at work, even if you're trying to make headway or to impress those you work with and for. Remember, your health is priceless and you mustn't make compromises for the sake of a buck. This planet also shows that your enemies may well try to take advantage of any lapse in your attention to detail. It's important to negotiate your deals in an airtight manner so that you don't really leave anything to chance. You want to make sure you're on top of it. Mercury's presence in the same area of workplace activity shows how keen you are to implement new systems which effectively structure your work practices. That in turn is going to optimize the time you spend doing, say, repetitive chores. You're clever and you can devise new systems and will easily communicate fresh ideas to those around you, and so that the group gets the benefit of your insights this year, I suppose. Your philosophical views are challenged throughout this year. This may have as much to do with your work ethic as it does with any religious or spiritual component of your life. The square aspect of Jupiter to Neptune is the indicator of this, and the hard relationship of planets occurs on 14th of January, June 17, and finally again on September 22. I'm referring to that Jupiter-Neptune aspect. So you mustn't enforce your belief systems on others, but by the same token, if those you work with are trying to indoctrinate you into their way of thinking, you may run into a brick wall trying to adjust yourself to their demands. You may simply have to agree to disagree. Now, your family is ruled by lovely Venus, and the fiery yet creative influence from Mars shows you'll be able to put aside more time to effectively share your feelings and your personal schedule with them to a much greater extent than you have recently. So those memorable moments will be peppered with passionate and exciting activities, and that will engage everyone and draw you much, much closer together. The health of your family members should be watched throughout the earlier part of the year and also around the middle of June, when Venus transits the 6th and 12th houses respectively. A settling period will occur with this transit through your 4th house from September 14 though. So that's the general overview. I've written a lot more, by the way, and you can access that. Over 3,000 words on all aspects of your life in 2019, your romance and your friendship, your finances and your career, and naturally your love, karma and spirituality. So I've only given you a snippet here, a little bit of a taste. Do join me there, and of course drop me a line if you've got any questions, and I do look forward to your company again in February. Again, Happy New Year. Bye-bye for now.